Consider a girl who keeps slipping off, arms limp as old carrots, into the hypnotist's trance, into a spirit world speaking with gifts of tongues. She is stuck in a time machine, suddenly 2 years old, sucking her thumb, as inward as a snail, learning to talk again. She's on a voyage. She's swimming further and further back up, like a salmon struggling into her mother's pocketbook. We all have our own version of a fairy tale. Falling in love with our knight in shining armor, or perhaps Mr. Prince Charming next door. But in reality, life can be a snitch, and some people don't get granted the third wish. In Briar Rose, Anne Saxton develops a poem around a sleeping beauty. Briar, the girl, is actually trying to escape her real-life terror, depression and fear. Unfortunately, she was cast into a role she never wanted to play, being her father's keeper. She turns her father's incest into an old-told tale, one of an evil fairy with a death wish, and a girl who yearns to be loved by a real prince, not by her own father. Briar Rose by Anne Saxton. Little doll child, come here to Papa. Sit on my knee. I have kisses for the back of your neck. A penny for your thoughts, princess. I'll hunt them like an emerald. Come be my snooky, and I will give you a root. That kind of voyage, rank as honeysuckle. Once a king had a christening for his daughter Briar Rose, and because he only had 12 gold plates, he asked only 12 fairies to the grand event. The 13th fairy, her fingers long and thin as straws, her eyes burnt by cigarettes, and her uterus empty as a teacup, arrived with an evil gift. She made this prophecy. The princess shall prick her finger in her 15th year and then fall down dead. Kaput! The court fell silent. The king looked like Munch's scream. Fairies' prophecies, in times like those, held water. However, the 12th fairy had a certain kind of eraser, and thus she mitigated the curse, changing that death into 100-year sleep. The king ordered every spinning wheel exterminated and exorcised. Briar Rose grew up to be a goddess, and each night the king bit the hem of her gown to keep her safe. He fastened the moon up with a safety pin so that she would have perpetual light. He forced every male in the court to scour his tongue with babo, lest they poison the air she dwelt in. Thus she dwelt in his odor, rank as honeysuckle. On her 15th birthday, she pricked her finger on a charred spinning wheel, and the clock stopped. Yes, indeed. She went to sleep, the king and queen went to sleep, the courtiers, and the flies on the wall. The fire in the hearth grew still, and the roast meat stopped crackling. The trees turned to metal, and the dog became china. They all lay in a trance, each a catatonic stuck in the time machine. Even the frogs were zombies. Only a bunch of briar roses grew, forming a wall of tracks around the castle. Many princes tried to get through the brambles, for they had heard much of Briar Rose, but they had not scoured their tongues, so they were held by thorns and thus were crucified. In due time, 100 years passed, and a prince got through. The briars parted as if for Moses, and the prince found the tableau intact. He kissed Briar Rose, and she woke up crying, "Daddy, Daddy!" Presto, she's out of prison. She married the prince, and all went well, except for the fear of sleep. Briar Rose was an insomniac. She could not nap or lie and sleep without the court chemist mixing her some knockout drops, and never in the prince's presence. If it is to come, she said, sleep must take me unawares while I am laughing or dancing, so that I do not know that brutal place where I lie down with cattle prods, the hole in my cheek open. Further, I must not dream, for when I do, I see the table set and a faltering crone at my place, her eyes burnt by cigarettes, as she eats betrayal like a slice of meat. I must not sleep, for while I sleep I'm 90, and I think I'm dying. Death rattles in my throat like a marble. I wear tubes like earrings, and I lie still as a bar of iron. You can stick a needle through my kneecap, and I won't flinch. I'm all shot up with Novocaine. This trance girl is yours to do with. You could lie her in a grave, an awful package, and shovel dirt on her face, and she'd never call back, "Hello there!" But if you kissed her on the mouth, her eyes would spring out, "Daddy, Daddy!" Presto, she's out of prison. There was a theft. That much I'm told. I was abandoned. That much I knew. I was forced backwards. I was forced forward. I was passed hand to hand like a bowl of fruit. Each night I am nailed into place and I forget who I am. Daddy, that's another kind of prison. It's not the prince at all, but my father drunkenly bent over me, over my bed, circling the abyss like a shark. My father thick upon me like some sleeping jellyfish. What voyage this, little girl? This coming out of prison? God help this life after death.